South Wales Cup. Plus, an all New South Wales affair in the grand final with the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights. The Central Coast Roosters in the grand final of the Andrew Johns Cup. But first though, it was just massive for the Newcastle Knights as their New South Wales Cup side managed to defeat St George Illawarra with a massive win. It was just fantastic for Newcastle, who were just too strong for their rivals right throughout the game. It was a massive one for the Newcastle Knights yesterday as they managed to beat the St George Illawarra Dragons right up at Shell Harbour on the south coast. And it's all that they had to go, with the Knights winning 30 points to 10 in the New South Wales Cup. But then whatever try was scored, the damage just had to be done as Newcastle scored and won the match. It'll be a Newcastle Central Coast affair next week in the Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final after the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights and the Central Coast Roosters secured huge wins against their rivals.
Two front rowers combining nicely, the 10 and the 8.
It was a huge one for the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights.
Just gave a lovely
and because of that, the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights, the first team through to the Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final.
And Jalen Bishop grabs a double.
They managed to score against the Monaro Colts.
And all of a sudden, the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights have hit the lead.
Down by 2 up at the first half, Newcastle managed to quickly have a fight back in the second half.
Beautifully this night side. And a penalty on tackle 4. That was the key. Gave the Knights the football.
That certainly was. It was just magnificent.
Clever work from Clinton. He just held it long enough so Bishop, all he had to do was hit it at speed. Went through for a soft try. Clinton back on the field. He'll take over the goal kicking duties. Darcy Mitchell will be thinking, what have I done wrong?
And of course, it was up to the Knights to kick the goal.
Right after this game, we have the Laurie Daly Cup semi-final between the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights and the Monaro Colts, and then the second semi-final of this Andrew Johns Cup. We'll see the Macarthur West Tigers taking on the Central Coast Roosters. That kick off at 3. 1:30.
But of course, it was Newcastle's day up in the Andrew Johns Cup.
Important conversion attempt from Clinton.
With a goal attempt conversion coming around.
Pushes it across the face. So 20 points to 16 on the SLE scoreboard. 11 minutes left.
Even though it was unsuccessful, Newcastle Maitland needed a comeback. And they certainly did just that.
Quick and back Green, good defence, driving the Knights player back to the 10. He attacked the football well.
And of course, good news came above for Newcastle.
Cox.
They're playing right up on the Central Coast, up at Murray Breen Oval.
Good tackle from Cowling. Balls play on the ground, pass from Clinton. Thompson will have to
But thankfully, no knock-ons.
6 again's the call as Clayton ducks out of dummy.
And it certainly was.
Combining nicely with some tip-offs.
Well, it was just a spectacular one. And of course, Newcastle had to do something.
Haggerty still going. Knights, once again.
They had to run.
A great field possession.
As well as scoring a try.
Clinton finds Cox. On the last. Clinton looks up. Which way will he go? He tries to sneak out a dummy half. I tell you what, he didn't try. He did. Lachlan Clinton scores
the Knights led 24-16. Right up in the second half.
Jumped down to a 24-16 lead. Kick to come.
It certainly was. It was just spectacular for Newcastle.
Far too easy there.
They led 24-16.
Tackle it was. It just opened
right up in the second half. And with a kick to come, it was just a brilliant one as well. And because of that, there had to be a conversion.
Referee blows time off.
The whistle was blown.
As Darcy Mitchell's got the kicking duties back.
Thankfully, nobody can stop the Knights.
And he's missed. So has that opened the gate for the Colts? 24-16.
With 90 seconds left on the clock,
he's got Millard there as well. It sits up nicely and taken nicely from Lawrence.
And it certainly
that might be enough for the Knights. A penalty.
And it became enough for Newcastle. But not only was it enough, but it also became huge.
It's been a second half onslaught for the Newcastle Maitland Knights.
Also, a kick had to be quickly converted. They had a penalty taken at them.
Scored in the 35th through Jalen Bishop, Jack Thompson then in the 43rd. Jalen Bishop grabbed his second for the half in the 47th, and then Lachlan Clinton scored in the 51st. And it's turned that 16
there was about a minute left on the clock.
There's a mistake, be a knock on Knights.
Time was running out.
But I think the siren will beat them all. 40 seconds left.
And of course, the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights
into the grand final next week,
becoming the first team through to the Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final.
For 2023. Johnston hasn't had a lot of footy in this second half.
And of course, the other team who will join the Knights next week will also become huge.
Black for Palmer.
But with not enough time left, and of course, the klaxon just had to become the best siren on the clock.
He'll just put the foot down and just go. He pops a pass up for Millard. Millard couldn't hang on to it. And Darcy Mitchell grabs the crumbs, and that'll be enough as the siren sounds. Referee Balin Simon blows full time. And the Newcastle Maitland Region Knights are into next week's Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final.
Then in the other one, it was the Central Coast Roosters up against the Macarthur West Tigers. And of course,
so Bailey, it's a tough kick from the sideline. He's got plenty on it. It's waved away.
While it was unsuccessful, it was just a massive one indeed.
Did he?
And without said from the commentators, it was massive. The home side led right up at Murray Breen Oval in Gosford.
Mamui, he starts at Papali'i. He's had some good touches since he's come on the field.
Meanwhile, the home side still had good ideas.
To Kapua. Peckham. Another player that's had some good carries as Papali'i makes his way off the field. Gillam back on.
Move him off the field. It was just a massive one.
Contact there.
Tackles were still going on.
And a penalty for the
And
Roosters.
the Roosters finally had a penalty to be given. And of course, it was a massive run indeed. And of course, the Roosters were waiting to quickly score a lot of tries
Callahan, all the ball
to make sure that they would join the Newcastle-Maitland Region Knights into next weekend's Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final.
Elliott, runners everywhere, short pass there for Burke. Burke still going, can see clear air, still going is Burke. MacArthur West Tigers defenders eventually get hold of him, Pitatati.
And of course, the Roosters managed to
Long pass,
score.
Elliott, nice pass, Bailey will go himself.
Bailey managed to
Throws the
score.
big dummy, and the Roosters are in
Right,
again. A great run from Caleb Burke opened them up. Did you just see they were set? It was a lovely pass, Elliott.
It certainly was. The Central Coast Roosters led 18-6.
Picks it up for the back. Fortu Mawala. Callahan fires a long pass.
Good news came above from the Central Coast.
Farlett. He'll take it. They're trying the one-on-one strip. Referee says, I'm happy with that. Or did he not hold it?
Thankfully, the referee was. The referee was happy about that. But then a bit of push and shove come above.
BJ French asking the question. It's a penalty.
But if the Central Coast receiving a penalty, it's what they had to receive.
They won't muck around, they'll tap and go and just drive it forward. Tukapua, he'll find Field. He's a metre away.
But the one thing that they had to do was to score
tries. They go to this left side again. Elliott. Fortu Mawala, nice pass for Callahan.
A try had to be scored.
And he grabs a double, does Callahan.
But if Callahan scoring back-to-back tries, it was time for the Central Coast to go into the Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final.
Willing to let the ball talk.
Now they're leading 26-12. Whenever it was forward or backwards,
Jake Jones.
And whatever it was said,
Still going is Jones.
It was a huge one.
Hands. They get up quickly and Bailey.
Certainly was.
Milford again. Short pass. Attorney. He keeps it alive for Jones. He fires it quickly.
Jones knew exactly what to do.
And Classy will score. 26-16.
Now it was 26-16. Now there was only at about 3 minutes left on the clock.
Aaron Player with it.
And of course, good news came above for the Central Coast Roosters with 1 more minute left on the clock. They just got themselves a ticket up to next week's Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final.
Good pass, loping along, still going. Zach Stokes, he's tackled a metre out. Gat goes to dummy half. And a penalty. And 10 in the bin. Trying to see who it is. Milford it is. Brooklyn Milford for the McCarthy West Tigers will spend the last 10 seconds in the bin. And I think the Central Coast Roosters will be more than happy for Bailey to say, I might have one in front. He's had some tough conversion attempts, so he might as well take the one in front. As the siren sounds, and the Central Coast Roosters will join the Newcastle-Maitland Region Knights in next week's Andrew Johns Cup Grand Final. Bailey doesn't muck around, and there's the full-time score, 28 points to 16.
The final score, 28-16.
They led 10-6 at half-time.